took over a few years ago at Yorkshire Dance, I wanted to find a way in which practicing artists could really have a voice in the way this organisation was shaped. One of the ways in which we did that is invited a lot of artists to come be part of our artist advisory group. And Charlotte was one of the first artists on that group, alongside Balbir Singh, Sarah Spanton, Beth Kasani, Simon Birch, and Andila and Sharon from Phoenix were involved as well. And we had a lot of discussions about what this organisation could really be for artists and what place it could be. And following that, as most of you know, we had a strategic review in which some of those ideas were finally, there was a possibility for us really to embed those ideas in our business plan. And one of the core ideas that came from that group, and it was definitely Charlotte's concept, is to work with artists so that artists could curate this building and this space. And we spent years talking about a project called Curated Spaces. As you know, that business plan was embedded last year, and the Arts Council bought into that, and here we are at our first juncture. What does juncture mean to us? It means that this is a chance to reposition this building and this organisation as a place where experimental dance really has a place, where messy, dirty, creative, experimental work can be made, where critical practice is encouraged, where quality artists make and work and talk to each other, and where we encourage thought-provoking, critical work to take shape, and where we push boundaries about what dance can be. That doesn't only reflect where we are in a city which already has some really fabulous mainstream dance organisations around us, but it also reflects, and this building, which has beautiful creative spaces within it, which have a history of decades of work being made, and some really interesting artists making work here. It also reflects my personal passion for making work which is alternative, and which is not about sitting nicely on your seat and having an entertaining experience, but which is questioning and critical and thought-provoking. And what does that mean, asking an artist to come and work with you who is questioning and thought-provoking? That's quite hard, isn't it, Charlotte? Well, it's hard, but it's also incredibly thrilling and exciting. And I'm just so pleased that we have got to where we are with this project now. Last but not least, I'd really like to thank Charlotte. Charlotte, for your vision, for your absolute drive, your courage, and your generosity. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I just wanted to say that it has been a really, really interesting experience as an artist to curate a programme of work. And I've learned a lot from it, and it's been a really good example of an artist and a company. It's not only me, it's my team, working with a national dance agency, and I think I've got a very long history with Yorkshire Dance. I was a Yorkshire Dance partner here for 9 years, through various tenures, and you know, it feels like a new era, it feels like a new buzz, it feels like Wiike's willing to take some risks with what's being put in here. I think that's a credit to her and her team. So just very briefly, I suppose just from a political point of view, I wanted to, in Yorkshire, bring some of my favourite colleagues into this building, people that I work with, people whose work I respect, people who are not necessarily from the region, try and cross the north-south divide a little bit by getting some of our Brighton southern folks up here, and it's been a real thrill to welcome artists from the south of England up to the north of England, and I'm hoping that at some point we'll be able to do it the other way around. So my focus, as is probably deeply apparent from the programme, is about women, and it's about experiment. And I stand here before you, as Wendy might have said in her show last night, on one knee, saying those are the things that I believe in. Not a separatist, but I believe that women's work should be promoted a little bit more than it is. And so with Juncture, on this first Juncture, I have stuck my neck on the line and mostly programmed women. I'm really proud that we've done that. I've also stuck my neck on the line by saying, let's programme some dance that doesn't have much dance in it, which we've also done. But my notion of dance is about movement, it's about choreography in its broadest sense, it's about cross art forms. And that's where I'm at in my own practice, and that's where I think most choreographers these days are actually crossing boundaries, and I'm not allowed to use that phrase after the conversation we had upstairs, crossing art forms and stealing from, you know, film, theatre, song, music, composition, dance, movement, everyday gesture. So my other passion is let's widen the notion of what dance can be in our heads, because otherwise we're limiting the audience that's going to come and see it. We're limiting our own artistic vision of what we can make and put out there. So those two things have driven my sort of conceptual desire to put the things on that I've put on.